So I've been trying to work out the primary issue I'm running into right now is use effect. Use effect does not fire the way it's supposed to. um, so there is a point. So I call these. I'm going to say what's going on here. So I'm calling in my game result. I have this quarter effect. Okay, so our quarter component. And this quarter component runs through and it calls a bunch of drives. And the drives just start executing. These are the teams moving up and down the field, right? So the whole quarter processes. But each time a new drive completes, it triggers this log drives event. Okay. And what's supposed to happen is when this updates, this guy is supposed to fire. See, it's dependent on drive results. When that updates, this is supposed to fire, and we're supposed to go in here and start updating stuff. It's not working. What's happening is it updates and updates and updates and updates and updates, and the quarter keeps processing, and we never get to process any of the data. So I have to go a different route. I've tried everything. I mean, obviously it's there, it's set. I'm a little concerned anyway because I think the quarter is going to process faster than the drive is going to load. And if that's the case, we're going to get backed up. Or it's just going to keep overriding it before I can do anything with it. We're just going to end up with crap. half written code or half outputted. So I think what I'm going to have to do, I have pauses between the quarters, and what I'm going to probably do is take my drive results as I get them, put them in an array, and then once the quarter completes and it kicks out and we can kind of fire this, because it does fire, but it doesn't fire till the end of the quarter. So it's like it's waiting for that process to complete. But it might be okay. If I do it that way, I don't think it's really going to have much of a delay because the processing of a quarter is like no time. I mean, it drops a whole quarter down in like seconds, and that's the whole processing power. I say in a second or two tops. So the delay is like a second or two tops, right, to run the entire quarter. Now, I don't know how much that's the case in the event of my implementing the individual player components, because that's going to be more stuff going on. But even then, I still doubt, computers, they're fast. It could probably calculate the entire quarter of results in a moment or two. I mean, the delays would be pretty tiny. And so I'm going to try it that way. At one point, really, I was getting back information. I was thinking I could do one drive at a time because I thought we had the option to process these one at a time. But it really doesn't, because the quarter component, if these ran asynchronously, would keep overriding it anyway. So, yeah, we're going to keep trying to, let's see, I can't remember how I'm going to do this, though, because this is an array. If I set this up as an array, set drive results. I think what it is this. Oops. Nope. Let me get my thing here. And then I believe, let's see, I got to see the formatting here. I think it's push. I'm going to open this up much like it has me doing right here, but instead, let's see, I want, okay. Let's just do this. Okay, so I don't remember the syntax. I've only done it once, and I can't remember how I did this. I want set data to add to the array instead of just overriding that value. Okay, so I want to change this to an array of drive results. I have set the state to, what is it? Constant. Nope. Drive results. Results. Oh yeah, and this has to be like this, which I did not do. Did not change my drive results to be an array. Use the syntax to update the log drive to add each drive to the drive results array via set drive results. Okay, yeah. That's pretty good. AI is pretty good. This is a pretty simple one, I think. AI shouldn't struggle too much with that. Oh, it's previous results. This. Oh, okay. So you just append it. Okay. So yeah, that looks familiar. Oops. Oh, I guess I don't need to do this. And I could just update this. So what this will do is it'll keep adding it in. And then hopefully once it's all done processing like it does, we'll still end up down here in my use effect, and my use effect can then process these. But now I have to actually put a loop on my loop to go through all my drives. So we're going to have to do something like, let's see, drive results. Should have something in our drive results. Oh, where'd that come from? I was just like, what was that? I mean, that was an image that I generated at one point, but I don't know why did it just decide to pop it up and show it to me. I was a little quick. I didn't see what the message said or why it did that, but that was kind of weird. All right. Okay, so I broke my train of thought. All right, so I got to get my drive results to be looped in here. We're going to check to see if drive results has something in it at all. And then we're going to say, then we're going to check for drive results. It's going to have to be drive results, what, 1? Because we have to have, well, at least one drive that has plays in it, right? So hopefully all of our drives have one play in them, have at least one play in them, but we need to make sure that they have something. Okay, so now we have to do a for constant let's see, drive result, singular, sure, okay. Drive result of drive results I could just do a play that length, right? Because I'm not reading the drive data. I don't really care about the drive data. I could just do like a, I don't know, drive index, and then use drive index on my next section, because that's all I'm really getting. I just want the drive index. Because well, no, because we have to get the plays that are going to be used, because it's the plays for that. It says drive index dot plays. I could do, or I could just get the plays and run them through here. So what we would have to do is drive, because if I do it this way, I don't have to do any. Yeah, let's just do it. I don't have to change any. I don't have to worry about codes or index. And it will be drive result dot plays dot index, and that should do it. I just singularize that, and then we should be off to the races. I don't think I have any other references to drive. Yeah, because this is all just coming from the plays at this point. And then we take this and we close it up with our. I think we just need something simple, like. Well, we got to bracketize it. Bracketize it and close it. There we go. And that will allow us to hopefully trap and proceed with our drives. I'm actually tempted not to do this one. If our drives have drives in them, I'm going to guess that they have plays in them. Plus, if they don't, I mean, we won't go, if we don't, sorry, if they don't have plays in them, we'll skip this whole loop anyway, and that'll cause me problems, but I have a break here, so I'll be able to catch that if it happens. So I think we're good. We should get multiple drive outputs here. Plays in drive, plays in drive, plays in drive. Let's see what happens. I think that's all I need right now. So we'll do Control S. We're already stopped, so we're going to. This is me. I was trying for a little bit more asynchronous play updates, but I feel like this might be a safer plan because I think the quarter's still running. It would overwrite my drives anyway, and I think that was going to cause me problems. As I was hoping that somehow, if I was using it, or I don't know, I was just thinking if I could get the drives to come back, I could output them. Even if I could have it output them on demand, you know, like I should probably be adding to it anyway so that it can keep iterating through the drives. But what I don't want to do is iterate through the drives more than once. So I'll probably have to do something like reset the drive results back to default of empty or whatever once we're done processing one. This way when the next quarter goes, we just process the next drive. We don't process all the drives. So yeah, I should probably put that in here. So we're going to go set drive results. I think I could just go bam, right? I mean, that should initialize it. Or can I? Yeah, let's see. Clear drive results for next quarter data. Let's see what chat. Just to confirm, if I want to clear the drive results array, is this the best way? Set drive results. Guessing it'll tell me no or something. Yes, that is correct. Hey, I guessed right. Oh man, I could use a function. It's giving me the permission to use a function. I don't know if I need that. A function for a single line task. For example, when starting a new quarter, resetting the game, or any other scenario where the previous drive results are no longer needed. Right, well, I'm doing that as soon as I'm done with printing them out, which is the same. I don't need any other place to do it. So let's go ahead and do another quick compile. I just want, taking a major detour off of my original plot and plan, but it's a little similar to the way I was at one point before I tried to pretty everything up. And I've done a lot of refactoring in my code just in the last week, simplifying, also expanding. The code has been simplified, but there's a lot more considerations of things that can happen in a game. And to be honest, I still think I'm missing a couple. But again, I want to say this is still a POC, proof of concept / just a prototype, because the majority of the work is yet to be done. So we're a little ways off from everything, but I want to get the output, pretty it up a little bit, kind of get a feel for a game going with the stats and information I have. Hey, pray. I do. Well, I plan to. Hi, how you doing? I've actually got to figure out the best automated testing suite. I've heard that Playwright is one. I've never done automated tests in React because I'm just learning it. So what I want to do is get my prototype going, my basic stuff going. And then my next step is to start plugging in some various bits. I want like automated testing. I got to create a database. Got to start moving stuff to the back end. I'm going to move stuff over to an API, which I'll probably write in C#, since I know C# a little bit. And I've done an API already, an auth API. So I kind of have an idea how that works. So I'm going to put the API behind it so that I can make it calls from other things. I don't know Java at all. I know nothing other than I know JavaScript, but I hear that they're really not that similar. Yes. And that is definitely true as I move on to the next phase. Like I said, a lot of this came up just because I didn't like any of the sim football games out there, and I go, you know what? I can do better. And I'm not talking about play sims. I'm talking about games, realistic simulations where you can actually see a game going, see players actually have an effect on the game. And there's one game out there I saw called, what is it? Pro Action Football 24, something like that. Pro Football 24 Action Football 20, I don't remember. Something like that. It's got those names in there somewhere. And you're right. I do need to put in some automated code. But here's the thing. Again, I don't know the testing suites that work very well with React. I have Visual Studio here. I don't know. I don't think that MS Test works with React, does it? I mean, I know I've seen some others. Oh, something blew up. What the heck? That's not even my code. I mean, I don't know what this is. I mean, I do have a layout. I don't have a layout.js. I have a layout.jsx. I haven't seen that error in months. What changed? Something blew up. Didn't like something there. It could have been that I was holding it. Debug adapter has exited. If you have any recommendations of a good unit testing suite for React, exactly, it's a big thing right now. I am not a graphics guy, so my game is going to be a lot like that Pro Action Sports Football 24. The problem with that one is it's a little fiddly, and I'm not fully sure. It's like you don't have plays. You're being a coach that's like calling plays on the fly. It's like backyard school football where you go, you run that way and you run that way and you guys blitz. That's basically what the game is as you're coaching it. Yasmin, huh? Oh, I see. I'd never even heard of that one. Oh, well, Jasmine. I still don't think I've heard of that one. Maybe I did. But my previous job, they were using Playwright, but they had Angular, so they weren't using React. So I don't know if that even works with React. I should probably look, because I am getting close to that point. One of the things I also want to do is have some of my automated tests do performance. Oh, yeah. I feel like I've been coding now for too long. I think I started as a developer in the mid '90s. And to be honest, I would love to move on to management or, development lead or something where I'm doing a lot less coding. But that's not 100% true. It's just that I'm finding that in getting into all my years of coding has resulted in me getting caught up in code that is no longer current. See, when I left my last job, I had been spending a ton of time developing. Well, SQL Server, okay, I'm pretty good at SQL Server, and that hasn't changed that much. I mean, if you were good at it in 2016, you're good at it now. I mean, as long as you've been doing it constantly. But I'm just saying, in version 2016, I wrote an entire application based out of SQL, but C#, that's not true. C#.NET Framework, where I spent most of my coding as far as C# goes, and I did probably 15 years of C# coding in there, pretty much since it came out. And but it was all for .NET Framework, and my job continued with .NET Framework. We never moved on to MVC, and I kept trying. I kept wanting them to let's recode this so that we can move on or catch up, but never happened. So as a result, don't worry about that, Nightbot. Just, it complains about links, but you're okay. I mean, don't worry about it. It's fine. If you keep putting links up, it's gonna it'll I don't know if it'll do something. It might eventually yell or block the link. I don't know what it'll do, but I think you're okay. Anyway, so I wanted to try and bring them up. They wouldn't come up. So then when I was laid off because they were cutting back on people, I've now been looking for work for over 6 months, and I'm finding that nobody wants my version of C# knowledge, and I don't know MVC well enough. I haven't done Blazor enough. I didn't ever work on Blazor. I took a bunch of online classes for React, Next.js, but they were all, a few weeks, a month, and I just did all those in the last 6 months. But everybody wants 5, 6, 7, 8 years of experience. So it's really hard to get a job. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I have enough general design skill knowledge that I think I could help as a lead or as a manager to kind of help guide people in direction and ways to approach code, but without having to constantly try to keep up with the tech, because it's not that I mind changing. I'm liking React. React is kind of cool, but I don't know it well. I can't say I'm a professional at it. And although I'm better at it now because I've been working on it for a couple months, I'm finally starting to understand how use effects work and don't work. Ugh, don't get me started. There are things that it doesn't work like it expected it to, but whatever. Yeah. Our company kept, what do they call it? They encouraged forward learning, but, right. And they want people with experience. It's not even, well, I guess they have room for some people straight out of college or whatever, but generally they want people who've been doing this and they're already experts. And then it's like, even if you could get past the first layer, these companies have 5, 6 layers of interviews. And at any point, you could get truncated. I mean, it's a 2 to 3 month process to get hired. And that's only if everything's going good along the way. I mean, obviously, you could get dropped at any time. They go, no, we're moving on with somebody else. So it's really hard to get in with like Google and Microsoft and Facebook and they depend a lot on their what do you call it, interview tests. Yeah, they have like 5, 6, 7 people in an interview, and then they say, oh, so we want to have you do this test. They ask you some programming questions about whatever it is you think you know. And they all just, and they say, don't worry about it if you get it completely right. We just want to see how you think. Bull, nah. That's not what they're doing. They're watching you going, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, he's not getting this. Oh, well, I mean, I guess he kind of sort of came around with the right answer, but it took him too long. You could just feel that, their eyes digging into you. No, I'm in the U.S. And you're like, even though you're doing it remotely, I mean, you're doing this test remotely, right? And you're writing this code and you're trying to talk it out. And then it's like, am I allowed to be looking stuff up while I'm doing this? Can I go over here to my Google or my Chat GPT and get an assist? They're like, no, they probably just want me to solve it right here. And I'm like, yeah, I don't remember the syntax. It's like, when you're doing it, like here, I'm learning a lot just by doing, Chat GPT. Germany, huh? I've talked to a few people from Germany, actually. I like the AIs. They're very helpful, but you got to make sure you take them with a grain of salt. I rarely like to, oh, gosh, it's rough, man. It's rough. Like I said, I've been looking for a job now since April. My unemployment has already run out, and if not for the fact that I have a fair decent amount of money built up from 401k and Roth, whatever, and I kept part of that before as a rollover. I took a light penalty on it, but it wasn't too bad, so it's keeping me going for now. But I don't like that, I mean, basically, reducing my retirement stuff for the sake of trying to get another job. Oh yeah, no, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, all the big ones. So you're talking about, I don't know, 10, 20, 30,000 IT people who are good working people now into the market. And since a lot of it's remote, you're competing against the 20, 30, 40,000 people of all the IT sectors, not just those 3 major ones, laying off. So now you're competing against them because it's all remote now, or not all of it, but a lot of it. And so it's really hard to rise to the top and be that guy that gets the job. So unless you're willing to work on site and a company wants on site only, that reduces the applicant pool, right? Because you're not competing against everybody in the country anymore. You're just competing against the people who live nearby. So it's a little easier. So yeah. So that's not so bad. There's a couple of branches of, I think Meta and Microsoft, fairly close to where I live, because I live up in the Northwest, in Northwest United States, where both of them live partially. I mean, Google has a lot down in California, and Meta even has some up here. So all 3 of them are up here in Washington, but they're to different degrees. So yeah, if you're willing to go to the office, you can reduce who you're competing against, but still it doesn't make the job any easier to get, because there's plenty of them right where I'm living anyway. So even if they only you reduce it from 50,000 across the country, you might still be competing against 1,000 nearby. That's not much better. Especially when they want the latest tech, and obviously I'm not. IBM. No. Well, I don't know if IBM's up here. They may have branches up here, but I know, I think there is a branch of IBM in Colorado. And they could have, and companies like IBM, Microsoft, Meta, I mean, they're everywhere. But a lot of their, they may have a small footprint in a lot of places. And Seattle's a common tech footprint for a lot of them. Obviously California is pretty big. Colorado's got a few, and obviously there's East Coast branches too. So there's a lot of these companies have branches, all over the U.S. But so to say which ones are, I have never worked for IBM. I always had a fear of IBM because it took them a really long time, a fear, to go a little bit. I don't even know if they still are, but to go kind of casual. I never liked the whole always having to wear a suit and tie stuff. And they did, even into the 2000s, I know they were still doing that. I don't know. I think they finally have kind of lightened up. But I don't know. Plus they do a lot of mainframe still. Strangely enough, mainframe is still out there and they're still cranking away at mainframe. I don't know what they do for, now Red Hat is, Linux, isn't it? Linux? Hoodies, yeah. I'm mostly t-shirt and jeans kind of guy, but I get cold a lot, so I'm always wearing either a flannel or sweatshirt or something else over the top. Don't get me wrong, I love working remote, but I would be willing to go into the office if it meant getting a job. The other option is somebody looking for a game company to invest in. I do have my Active Minds games where I've created a storage case. I've got a number of games I've designed ready to be manufactured, except I need artwork, so I need people who are into that. I have 2 games, video games, this one and another that I want to get to a point where they can be monetized into something useful, but I need graphics skilled people to actually add some cool graphics and help me out with that. But there's that option, somebody wants to invest in a new company. That'll get me on the road to doing something. Right, that's what I thought. Cloud computing, I got to finish that, but I've got there's 7 modules in the Azure developer course, and I got through 6 of them, and I started getting nervous about the money I was spending with these classes, so I stopped. I finished this summer, but I should finish because I want to try to get certified in Azure development. But yeah, I don't mind that. I'm actually, well, I think I'm actually a pretty good leader, to be honest. I mean, I'm pretty, if I say so myself, because I think, for one, I have run my own product. I designed a product. I developed it. I worked with a number of different people, from design to manufacturing companies to middlemen who helped me navigate some of that. Did a lot of that. I also worked with people with friends and volunteers to help with marketing. And I was able to find, I think I was pretty good at spotting, not only in my jobs too. I mean, I had people I was helping guide them in learning the tools and applications I was developing, and help them to learn how to support them. And I just always felt comfortable in helping other people, guide them to improve, or even use what I've noticed they're pretty good at. That's kind of the big thing is leadership. You've got to help people. If they're good at something and you can really see that they're enjoying something, leverage that. Let them enjoy that and have that, and find ways for that to help your business. And I always felt like I was pretty good at that. But I've just never really been given the opportunity, short of my own personal business, which is, small. It's me plus whoever I can get, helping at that time. So businesses they are a lot of work. There's no doubt about it. And it all depends too on your own corporate culture. Obviously you could design it any way you want, but it does slow you down if you decide to, yeah, it depends a lot though on how you structure things and how you design. But yes, you're right. If you want quick success and you want things to meet deadlines of various sorts, then yeah. But if you're if you set things up and expectations correctly, I think you can do it under normal hours. But that everybody who's working with you has to understand that this is what your goal is and what your objectives are, and you want to, have the expectations set correct. So, if I don't work 20 hours or 60 to 80 hours a week, then you're not going to have to work it. Whether I'm because I'm the boss. If I don't do it, I'm not going to make my employees do it. And there's a lot of bosses out there that think their employees should work like forever, and they only show up when they need to. And that's just bad business, bad examples, the whole bit. But I don't know. I think, yes, it depends on how quickly and what you're going for. But I believe a lot of the world runs on business hours. So yes, you may have times where you're working late because you got to work with the manufacturing over in China. And here I am in the US, so I got to be working at night to deal with them or work with them. Then yeah, there's exceptions, but I don't know that it's a really requirement. It just has a lot to do with what you're trying to accomplish, and what kind of business you're trying to run. I want it to be a business where people could enjoy working there. It includes myself. I enjoy the products that I make and design, but one man designing, I've started and nearly completed like 5 different board games. And a lot of them are up to that point where I just need graphics, so I need to assemble them so I can actually get them made. But I also have a design desire, like this game. I'm going to work on this until I have it functioning the way I want it to, or at least pretty close. And there's a lot involved in all that, but it's fun. I love designing stuff. I love creating something. And one of the things that's important to me, which I don't think a lot of these companies get, is that when you're doing games, like free-to-play, let's say free-to-play games, a lot of them do unique themes, slightly unique structures, but the games are the same, right? A lot of the free-to-plays are, you got all these champions that do X, Y, or Z. And they have all these different ways to do X, Y, or Z. And all to get their money is always the same. Find ways to make it so they pay you to get more heroes. And then they try to upgrade those heroes and do whatever the X, Y, Z is. And so some of it's, tactical. Some of it's some kind of a story. Some of it's just an RPG run through. Some of it's, tower defense. Some of them are just team battles, just random smacking each other. But overall, I think I haven't found anybody who's hit that right. I mean, there's a better way to do that. It doesn't have to be the same. And AFK games, that's another one. Football games is another one. All the ones I'm seeing, they're all taking the wrong approach in my mind. They're not focusing on game first. They're focusing on money first. And then they're also not really creating a unique design. And that's every game I've created, everything is all about coming up with something distinct that's different from other games in the genre. Like say, if I build an RPG game, it's got to be functionally different from what's already out there. Because what's the point otherwise? It's got to be fun. It's got to be something gamers like. It's got to have those features that people are attracted to. But you want them to also go, cool, this is different. This is something that's unique. And it does this thing better, or maybe it focuses more on the game than on the money. Money's important. I get it. You got to have that in order for the company to keep going. But people have to. Yeah, but you know what? I think you can do a good AFK. And here's what I have to say about AFK. AFK games are supposed to be a watchable game, right? That's what they are. I mean, you take them for what they are. They should be that. Because otherwise, so here's the thing. There's plenty of games out there that are not AFK, and you get in there and you play, and you have to play the game. But some of those same games say they're AFK, and a person who finds a game, who wants to download an AFK game, wants it to be AFK. That's the point. Now, it's not that you don't want to have input. See, that's the thing. I think a lot of these AFK games misunderstand what the goal of an AFK game is. Okay, so AFK games in the early days, I say way back, computers are new, were literally something you would install, hit start, and it would just run. And all you'd see is your guy going. Every now and then you could pause it and see what his level is, what he's done, what he's found. It's literally nothing. I mean, click. And I think as a streamer, even something like that's kind of cool. And I say that because I don't have to be playing it. Like, for example, I could be streaming right here. And a lot of times people it's eye candy in a sense, right? So you put it on the board, you put it on your stream in the bottom corner, across the bottom, maybe in the left and the right. But people will kind of have a desire to see what that is and kind of watch what's happening. And I think I have a plan, not only for my football game, but for my AFK game, if I ever can get one going. My problem with AFK is I'm not artistic in the sense that writing art, writing stories. I can write stories, but they're kind of like that. And all RPGs or AFKs need a storyline. That's kind of a trick. So sports are easier because you can build around a sport, right? I know football. I know football pretty well. I understand what it does and doesn't do and how things need to work. And that's functional. That's something I can drill into my head and therefore translate into a game. Storylines are different. I would need somebody who's pretty good at writing a storyline. But what I do understand is mechanics and understanding where you could try to make money while getting it to work. Yeah, that's true. You could try to get AI to write your story for you. But then you have to figure out how to plug in certain events in the story into your game. No, AI is bad at graphics. Yes, you could get basic graphics. See my little football man in my corner? That's a AI graphic. So is the little Superman computer gamer at the bottom, which I could probably turn off because I'm not working on computer games right now. But ultimately, the idea is that for me, I make these images because I like them because they kind of look like me and I'm a Superman fan. So that's why I make them. I'm a big Superman fan. And so I have these icons that look kind of like-ish me. I've even done some of the face swapping stuff. One of my favorite images I did was a face swap of a Superman figure standing, like this, with his arms crossed, and it has my face on it. And it's pretty cool. I've used it. I used to use it at work as my icon for Teams. It was pretty cool. And I actually have it, I think, on a couple of my, I think it might even be on my Discord. I have it on a couple of different places. So it's like one of my favorite images. And I'll probably make more like that. But face swap things take a lot of credits, and I don't know, I haven't done it yet. So what I probably do is I like to face swap a lot of these little GIF images I have and actually put a face on there that looks like mine specifically. But, But that said, an AFK game should be one where you adjust what's happening or what's going to happen during the course of the adventure. And then during the course of the adventure, certain events, certain things would occur, and they would send a notice to you. Like a lot of these games send notifications to you, right? Oh, you got a chance to summon now. Be sure to come and get your daily rewards. Okay, you kind of have to have that stuff, I guess, to some extent. But I would like the game to notify you when stuff is happening. So the AFK of the game, you could literally start the game with one adventurer and just let it AFK. You buy him some basic gear. You'll get some basic stuff to set him up. Obviously, the game's going to do that. You set him up, and you send him off on an adventure. Now, along the way, as your guy levels up, there would be adventures that you could get. You go to the inn, you do whatever, classic RPG stuff. And you'd send your squad out to go do these adventures. But as an AFK game, the point isn't that you go get these guys beat in a day. Like if you were playing Diablo, you would try to clear an entire... You teleport over to a dungeon, you clear the dungeon, you go home, you deal with your goodies. Yeah, an AFK game would be more like you'd have this little cartoon / game going up in the corner, and your guys would go off on this journey, and the journey could take. It might even say on the quest that you sent them off, 1 day, 3 days. 5 days, whatever. And literally, they might take 3 to 5 days to complete these quests. But it's not going to just be you let them go for 5 days, come back in 5 days and check it out. No, because you're going to set all these parameters, like each character that you might get, each hero that you get for your squad. They may have settings on them that you tell them how they're supposed to behave during battle, whether they run away when it gets dangerous, whether your team should rest regularly or not regularly, you want to play aggressive or not aggressive, and you want them to go out and just do. And certain things they would do automatically because that's what real characters would do. Think of yourself as a manager for the party. You're like their what do you call it? Their investor. You want a reward back for what they're accomplishing, and so you're investing in this pack of heroes, this group of heroes, and you're saying, hey, I want you to go get this diamond for me. And when they return, that diamond might be good. Maybe it'll let you summon some new heroes for the party. Or maybe it'll just be some other kind of reward that helps you to do stuff. So you send your guys off, they go do these different things. And you could even set them up. When you're done with that quest, go do this quest. When you're done with this quest. But your heroes, each area gets harder and harder and harder based on their skills. Hopefully they're fighting through it. And if you have them set on kind of a cautious mode, they're resting regularly. So they're sitting in the camp. So you could actually have it running in the background, sitting up in the corner of your stream or your desktop or whatever. And you'll be doing your work, but you can look up and see that they're all sitting around a campfire because they're just waiting, resting. Maybe they're talking about the adventure, and you can see up there, and you can have little quote things going on. That last guy really kicked my butt. Oh, yeah, well, man, I almost went down when he fired that fireball or whatever, just in case you missed it, because you could see the battle happening, but they'll be talking about it. So you can scam up and see when they're on the around the campsite talking about the adventure. And then maybe they run out of resources. Maybe they run out of healing potions or they run out of things they need. So they have to go back to town. So there's times when they're just walking back to town. You can maybe, some of the free-to-play options might be things you have people spend on. Maybe you can buy your team some portals so they don't have to walk back to town as often. Or maybe you buy them some horses or you buy them things that can make them more successful out there. Maybe you you can do something that allows you to spend some of your money to set up a discount at the local we call it a blacksmith or something, or at the inn, so that they can upgrade their gear when they get back. And they're going to come back with gold, but maybe it's going to be more expensive. They won't be able to do as much. And maybe you buy them some identify scrolls so that they can identify new items they find that are unidentified. But each character, you may have like a resurrect. And you can have a backup squad. The backup squad kind of rotates in with them. So if your team somehow gets wiped, you can send in a backup squad to go get them out of there and bring them back to town so they can resurrect. So yeah, your guys might go down and you're going to get a notice. Your team was killed. They couldn't escape. Send in help. And then you might have some other heroes that you send in to go help rescue them. But of course, they're going to have to work their way up to them the same way. But you're constantly involved in what's happening, but they can go on without you. And they'll just keep going unless you tell them no. And if they run out of quests, maybe they complete them all. They send you a notice saying, hey, we're out of work. Do you have any new things that we can do? No, not linear. I mean, yeah, they'd be able to, just like anything, they can just be out journeying. They're walking through the forest and the snow-packed hills. And that's why it'd be cool to see the same kind of graphics levels as you see in some of these other games. Oh, yeah. No, there's definitely a market for them. People like stuff like that, but they want to have input, and that's kind of the key. You want to give them a way to tweak, adjust. How are their guys going to perform while they're out there? See, a lot of the AFK games now, the most they do is what happens is they start strangling your resources to the point where you can't do anything because you don't have any resources. So you spend the first hours, days playing constantly because your guys are constantly leveling up, and then when they level up, you got to go back and level them up. You got to change their gear. You got to do all the stuff on your guys. They don't do anything autonomously, which is not AFK. It's hands-on totally. And the only reason it becomes AFK is because now you don't have enough gold, you don't have enough stuff, and now you have to send them out, and hopefully they can dig their way through stuff and get you enough gold and resources. So it might take a day or two or whatever to get stuff. But you kind of want to have it send you alerts maybe once a day, what's happening with the team. You might look at them at camp one time and they're like, man, it's getting really hard to get through here. We're struggling. We can't, we've only been able to kill a few bad guys this entire, in the last hour. We've only killed so many of these guys. They're getting too tough. Well, that's an alert for you, right? They're getting challenging. So that means you need to do something to help them. You can maybe send them back to town, say, hey, I want you to go back to town and train. And there might be a training area. And you can have them maybe fight, learn some new skills, do stuff like that. And then tell them, once you've done these training, or maybe even have them set up your whole setup so that when they're out fighting, you say, I want you to come back every few days, do another training session. Because maybe it takes a while to earn that training. You do a little bit at a time, but once they hit these points, they get new skills and abilities, and you'll get an alert. Hey, so-and-so has earned a new skill at these abilities, come check it out. And you go there and it has a new setting where you can adjust how that guy's going to behave with that new skill. How often do you want him to fire this new skill? How often do you want him to use these new skills and totally tweak how that's going to play? So that's kind of my vision of an AFK, one where you can actually be AFK. You could literally, if you set them like play ultra cautious, and they just kind of crawl along, and maybe you check once a week. Probably not great for your guys. They're going to be really slow to progress, but in all likelihood, they could punch and fight, kill a few guys, rest, go punch and fight, kill a few guys, rest, and go slow. Your guys will live. Maybe if you have to go on vacation, you ain't going to have a chance to check them out. You can just say, okay, I want you to do this mission. Take it easy, stay safe. And they'll do this mission. When you come back, you can see what they accomplished. Or you can check it out on your phone. Hey, how's my team doing? kind of see how things are. I think AFK games aren't great for a phone. You can check on them, open it up, and yes, you can let it run there and see how they're doing. But your phone is going to be constantly being used, right? I mean, it would have to be on to see them. There is stuff that can happen behind the scenes, but you would want to be able to, check on them. You can turn it on. Basically, when you turn on the game, you're opening a window that lets you peer in on your guys, almost like you're a deity of some kind, where you're just watching over your guys and helping them succeed. So that's my goal that's my idea of an AFK. One that's truly AFK if you want to be, and as little and as much as you want. I actually think it'd be cool. I have a notes list here of my designs for this AFK. I started creating it the other day. Where's it at? Somewhere, one of my notes. But one of them I thought would be cool. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, I think AFKs are there's a specific use case and a specific person. Like I said, for me, I think it'd be cool just to have it on my YouTube stream, kind of going and running while having my guys doing their thing while I'm streaming, playing a game or programming or doing whatever, just having that going in the background. I'm going to do that with my football game because that one's going to be closer to usable in the near future, because I've already kind of got it developing or coming out. Of course, every time I try to add a new feature, I break something. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm in a broken state as I try to move on to the next thing, adding new things, changing things. Which is annoying, but hey, it's part of the programming process. But I think the use case is people who want to play games while they're working, but know they shouldn't. So if you have an AFK game going, you can kind of keep tabs on it while still getting your work done. That's the whole point of it. It's not, because so many games out there, hey, thanks, Preodon. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And hey, you too, man. I hope things are going good for you there, and maybe I'll see you again in the future. And hey, I do play games on here fairly frequently. This development has been taking up a lot of my time because I'm enjoying it so much. But I play a variety of different things. So if you ever stop by, say hi, and maybe we'll chat some more. Take it easy, man. Meanwhile, back on the development wave, let's see where I can get this working. Good night. It's darkening up outside, so goes my video. It too is darkening up. Hope that's a little better. I'm constantly adjusting that because the camera is not good at adjusting for the amount of light I have. Because I'm right by a window, and we go gray, it goes bright, it goes dark. All right, so we do have a problem with my plays. Cannot read properties of undefined reading plays. Well, we know plays exist. So, no, let's go see. Where are we? So we have so we have not drive results returned. Oh, and not drive results, or I kind of thought if the first one exists. So do we have a drive? Is that what it's saying? Say we actually have a drive. We have a drive but no plays. That shouldn't be, because I have breakpoints everywhere. I don't think I've generated a drive anywhere. Hey, Jose, how's it? Jose Mieses. Instead of or, use and? Let's see. If drive results is empty. No, it's because we're returning. I want to say if either of these things are empty, we want to blank. We want to get out. If either one of them. So even if I have a drive result, but if it doesn't have any plays, I want to get out. So I'm not going in that condition. I'm quitting in that condition. So I'm not. I really just want to check to see if either one of them is bad. The idea is that we only go in if both of these have something. I could probably just say if blah and blah and just encapsulate the whole thing. Just let it exit without the return. But this one just cuts it off before it even goes in. But yeah, I could say drive results and plays and go through. But this is just a reverse option, I guess. Read one line, get out. So we have drive results. It says we have one. Oh, I should probably put this at 0 because it's defaulting at 0, I guess. I forgot the indexes are 0 based. Because the first thing we're going to get is a 0 base. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I changed it. You're on the same page, man. You're on the same page. I know my video is probably about 3 seconds behind what I'm actually doing, so we're working together, man. Let's see here. Let's see. Now, I would hope this is just like a 0 length page. Okay, so that's 0. Let's see what this does now. Hopefully, it's not an error. Nope, still doesn't like it. All right, so my plays are still... Thing is, this is at the point at which this is only calling during the initial load. So this only has anything in it. This only has anything in it because when I declare it, it's just an empty array. There's nothing in it. What I should probably do is, you know what? I think I'm actually going to declare the default values of... of what's supposed to be in here. I'm not a big fan of having it just be a generic item that gets set anyway. Drive results has, I know what's in it, and by declaring it, I can actually use the values better anyway. I think if I do it this way, it will be, I'll put the same defaults for a drive as the actual drives get. Maybe. Yeah, at the first time through during the load, there's nothing to load. It's just an empty. But I think if it's empty, at least it exists. And if it exists, then it can know if there's anything in it. That's what I'm hoping. Kind of like the drive results is an array, then plays will be an empty array. Hopefully that means we'll get something, and we can get around that problem. That's my objective here. Let's see how we do here. And then as the drives come back, yeah, that might be better. Check for the length. Oh, doesn't like that. Dang it. All right, what did I do? Reference. Time remaining is not defined. Wait, what? Oh, that's right, because I said it over there. Here it's not going to be. Here, time remaining is just going to be 0, because it's all going to get set later. All right, where are we? All right, so now we got things running, but you're right. Maybe so it's 0 now, so that should work. Problem is, I have to still check for length, right? Because 0 is a value. So it's going to go in if I do this. Yep, I don't want it to do that. That's not going to work. So you're right, I need to say... so length is 1 by default. If it's empty, length is 1. I kind of figured undefined is the non-existent, but I tried to do undefined. It didn't like that. And 0 is okay. The first one is going to be zeros, but we should never have. Actually, we should never have. No, that's not true. I was going to say we should never have plays of 0 because zeros is the base, which is 1 play, and we can have a drive with 1 play. So we can have a drive with 1 play. We can have... How do we do this? So if I'm checking for the existence... It's kind of funny because before I set this to an array, this wasn't that hard. Before it was just an empty value. Drive results was just a thing, and I would just say... I mean, this worked exactly as it was, as this, prior to my turning drive results into an array. Now I turn it into an array and nothing works. It was just a singular set of values, and now it's not. So now I got to figure out why I have to declare everything in it. So I need it to... Right, but it was, well... All right, let's just see. So length, all right. So we'll try that. Dot length is greater than 0. So how come 0 drive result exists? Oh, well, because I put the dummy one in there. Never mind. Put a dummy one in, it's going to have 0. Okay. All right, so that should return me out, kick me out. All right, so I did. Okay, so we're out. I can hit F5. I hate that I go into these DOM objects. I wish I would stop doing that. I think we're actually good. All right, so we have set quarter. Now we're on to the quarter. Now we're actually going to run this thing. So we should go here. And now it should run all of my quarter, and we'll see a bunch of stuff drop here. Assuming I let it run all the way through. My quarter needs to process. All right, so here's all my quarter output. And we are now sitting on top of the next quarter. Oh no, that's just the end of the drive. The quarter should still be 1. Yeah, we're still 1. Okay, so we're still working in 1. And where are we going from here? Okay, so hopefully we're still in quarter 1. Yep, we're still in quarter 1. Now, we should have some plays. Nope. No plays yet. Why do we have no plays? We have 9 drives. We have 9 drives, all with plays, except for that first one, which is a kickoff. So it didn't count the drive. Okay, so the first one is broken because I did not put the play in. So the first drive is a kickoff. And there's one play. It's the one team kicking off to the other team, turnover. It should be one play. But I just put that functionality in because before I was just counting a drive starting at X part of the field and then they would run. So we always had multiple plays. And I just added, like an hour ago, the functionality to have an opening kickoff or a halftime kickoff or anything like that. Obviously, I missed something. So I put it in that the first drive of the game is just a kickoff. So they run the kickoff, but apparently I'm not putting it in as a play count, and that's breaking stuff. So what do I need on the kickoff? Is there anything that a play actually needs during the kickoff? Let me think here. Nope. The problem is with that first play being a length of 0. I got to put a play in there. I got to let the kickoff count because the kickoff it could still have time. So if I look at the first play, we have first team with possession, team 1 last drive. Num drive. New drive. Start field position there. Okay, so something broken with my new idea, my new functionality anyway, because we got into the new quarter and we ran the drive, and it didn't actually process that first drive result, even though it was supposed to be kickoff. All right, let's go look at my drive. So the goal here, soon I will have, I hope, because I've had it before, but it looked really crappy, and that's kind of what I've been trying to iron out. All these stats, first and 10, quarter, all this stuff updates automatically when this processes correctly. But now I've been adding new stuff and setting it up differently because it wasn't all processing at the right time, so I'd get like weird jumpy values and negatives and other stuff. So I fixed a lot of that, I think. And then right underneath it is the description of the play. What happened? A run, a pass, complete, how far did they go, how many yards they get, what was the interceptions, touchdowns, fumbles, all that stuff. And as stuff happens, it updates this upper area of the simulator. And so you're just getting kind of text read output of what's happening in the game. And then as each thing happens, my simulation output updates. Before it was like, it would like do all the quarter at once, and then you'd get plays for the quarter, and it just looked bad. It wasn't lining up to what's happening, and it was hard to see, keep track. So that's kind of what I've been doing, ironing out the appearance and the playback. So I need to get my kickoff, which I just put in. So I'm setting in this kickoff only option, and what I need to do is, I think, put in a break here for the kickoff only, and setting. I can go to condition. I know the first one's going to be true anyway, but at least I can see what it does. Kick off only. And it's true, so we'll just go ahead and set that here. All right, so let's go ahead and try this again. Probably could just refresh. Oh, no, I couldn't refresh because I would have had to stop the code anyway. I need to get all of my plays to. I've noticed that if even one play functions wrong, things break. just one play. One play doesn't return a key piece of data, and things go downhill fast. Oh. Ah, dang it. So being unemployed, I have to try to do stuff to contribute around here financially. And seeing as my streams aren't there yet, I'm going to have to. I've been trying door-dashing. Door-dashing is so bad, so bad. It doesn't pay, man. It's like crime. Neither one of them pay. So, yeah, it's been rough. I mean, it's like, okay, so the cost of living around my area is like one of the highest in the country, and so the minimum wage over here is decently high. DoorDash typically is about 30% lower than minimum wage, so it's pretty sad actually. But it's like, well, Christmas time, so hey, ADQ99, Adik99, how you doing, man? Or woman? I can't tell. Sorry. How you doing? All right, so we should have a kickoff now. Now the question is, why didn't we get a kickoff last time? So we do have kickoff only here set, right? And it's true. Web dev journey, huh? Well, you know what? Me too. I mean, I've been a developer for a long time, but a web dev? Not really. I mean, well, no, I've developed websites, but I used ASP.NET and C#, and that just doesn't, I mean, there's very few jobs out there anymore that use ASP.NET and C#. So I decided to start learning React. So what you see here is about 3 months or 4 months worth of React experience. So I'm doing all this stuff in React, and it's been a journey. So I'm on that journey with you, man. But the fun thing is, if you want to learn something, find something you enjoy that you really want to create with your code, and do that. And that's what I'm doing. I'm creating a football sim. I've been wanting to. I feel like I can write one, and I decided I'm gonna do it in React. And so I've learned a lot in React as I start to do this stuff, start plugging it in. But who's been my best friend on this journey? ChatGPT, man. And the usual others. A web GIS? What's a web GIS? What is GIS? Geographic info system. So, yeah, like something like mapping, huh? So kind of like a Google Maps kind of thing. I mean, obviously not with roads and directions, but something like that. Like it can pinpoint things on a map. Give you directions, show you what's on the map. All right, so let's go ahead and take this down to my play call. We do have the right value. So we do have kickoff required is true. Yes, we do. So what we should have right now is a kickoff. So let's go in here and see what my coach returns. My coach should be returning a kickoff play call. Let's see, coach, you're gonna get me a kickoff play call? Whoa, whoa. Wait, what? Oh, never mind. No, it's fine. Wait, what did... Oh, did I? Oh, because I hit F10. What is my play call? What is the play? Run. Why did you call a run, coach? It's kickoff required, man. That's not the right play. Yards is greater than 0. Oh, because kickoffs don't have yards to go. So that's a logic thing that I didn't even think about. Because when I do a kickoff, I don't need to pass a yardage position. Interesting. Because when I do a kickoff, the logic, the special teams play actually knows where you're kicking off from. So when I do a kickoff, it's kicking off from wherever it kicks off from. Kickoff yard 65. That's the yards to go. But when I do a kickoff, it goes and figures out how far are we kicking. We know how far we're kicking from. And it calculates that based on where we're going. Hey, front master. They are on Twitch for like 2 months, but I dual stream, so I'm also on YouTube, and all of my streams are sitting there. So if you want to go see a stream that I've already done, you can check them out on YouTube. They're all there under my live posts, live streams. And sometimes I say don't do it very often because I'm too busy actually doing the streams. But I'll download streams and I'll try to compress them into like the key moments. Cut out some of the chat and just put in other things. But I'm not sure because you can talk, chat, that kind of thing. But also the videos that are compressed when I get around to them actually let you just see the progress, so they become a lot shorter. Because you'll notice with me, I tend to ramble. I tend to get off the track every now and then. I'll talk about my plans, what I'm going to do, what should be done, why I'm doing. And my progress can be slow sometimes. Yeah. Well, that's, it works for live. Not so good for recordings, because who wants to watch a person ramble in a recording? You can't even tell them, stop it! But yeah, I get it. But I do appreciate you stopping by, Front Master. And whatever you got to do, have a good one. Hopefully I'll see you around again soon. All right, so my yards. I need to change my yards to 0, I guess, when I have a kickoff. So I don't need to pass yards to go in. So maybe I'll just stop passing yards to go in for a kickoff. Apparently I don't need it. Oh, you know what? I do. Oh, that's going to be weird. Okay, so my logic on drives, when I come from a quarter call, my drives won't process unless we have a quarter, unless we have a distance to go. I just forgot about that. My drives are set up that they only process if I have yards to process. My team has to have somewhere to go. So I can't use 0. So to get in here is fine, but I think I need to make kickoff required and override. That's what I need to do. I think I'm going to go into my special teams and just make kickoff required or no, I'm sorry, my coach. So this coach is very basic. In the long term, this is going to be one of the meat and potatoes control helms. This is the brain of how this sim's going to work. Right now, it's super simple. He randomly picks run or pass, or 2-point play, or extra point, kickoff, punt. He makes those decisions. But it's very basic. It's random. But ultimately, this is going to be where the plays are chosen, where he makes decisions on 2-point conversions, or on the last 2 minutes of the game or the half. Maybe I can put a bunch of logic in here that randomizes that stuff. But what I want to do, the long-term solution, is the next step is to implement player level execution. So I'm going to start. I have my next thing after I get this working as is. I'm making minor tweaks to keep things functional, but once this is fully functional as is, because I'm on the edge. It's just get all these pieces to come together and start outputting like I want. Once they do that, I'm going to go on to the next phase, which is really start getting into the weeds. This is where I get deep into the code or deep into the logic and functionality. I'm going to start creating an API that has a database. The API is going to pull data from the database based on the calls that come from whatever front end I'm using, be it Java or React. It's going to pull stats from the database, and as well as coaching profiles. So the coach will load up. We'll say, all right, this is the coach. This is the coaching profile. He's going to load up his coaching profile, and then as the game runs, he'll use his coaching profile, which is how you respond to certain types of things, what kind of plays get called. And as my first cool interactive feature that allows other person input, I'm gonna try to create stream commands that allow the person who's watching my stream to say, they can put a name in, the position, and the play they want to call. Basic stuff like run or pass kind of thing. Run or pass, wide receiver, Joe. And then I'm going to have those inject into the next play that calls, and it'll override whatever the coach's profile is, and he'll call the run or a pass, and he'll put, and then Joe will become the player that gets the ball in that position. So I'll be streaming along, and it'll just be going along the side, and somebody can go, Joe run. Was it Joe run or running back? And they'll be watching, and then one of the next plays that comes up will be Joe gets the handoff and runs it for 7 yards, or gets tackled for -3 yards. And just allow people to put stuff in there and fiddle with it while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. That's the first cool interactive thing I want to do with it. And then eventually I'll do more. I'll add more, but that's the first thing. And I think it'll be doable because it'll just be a call to my application, which will pass in the parameters. I'll pull the parameters off and put them into whatever the next play is. I think it's going to be pretty cool. But I say, where are we? We're at the end of November. Well, I could have that feature in play in about 2 weeks, but I won't have player level stats. It would just be textual random. I think I want to really start digging into the other back parts. I'm thinking by Christmas. By Christmas, I can hopefully have enough basic code up that allows me to do that, or at least get it close. So it'll be a Christmas present to all my viewers. So we'll see how that goes. It's a long journey to get this stuff. I've been working on this now for 9 days of actual streaming days, but I'm actually I've probably been working on it more like 12 days because I've worked on it a number of times without streaming. Just while I clean things up, I didn't want to stream while I was refactoring code. I need to go and start getting some test stuff in here, start implementing some unit testing, stuff that's going to help me in the long term too. But like I said, I'm just getting the prototype going. So we'll see where I end up with this. Okay, so all right, simulate the next coach. So we're going to do an override. That's right. So I'm going to go in here. I am going to actually just say, And there we go. Not kickoff required. And then if it's a kickoff required, we're not doing any of this stuff. Kickoff required just means we're basically kicking the ball to the other team. And we're going to go down here. So, and I think punt is decided by yards to go. So we'll be here. I don't think punt returns kickoff required. Let's make sure. As long as a punt is not considered a kickoff. I don't remember. I grouped a couple things into kicking. Kickoff required if it's a play call equals field goal. Oh, this is post play. Set up. Oh, kickoffs and punts are both going to fall underneath here. I think the coach, time remaining, yards to go. Oh yeah, coach decides on whether or not it's a kickoff based on the down in the distance. So yeah, I think that should work. That should allow me to get the right result here. Get the kickoff to fire. Let's see what that does. Yeah, oh yeah, no, I'll have lots of stats. In fact, at the end of a game, I want to store everything, every stat. The database is going to store, like, when I have player stats, I'll be like, how that player did, of course, right? He got the ball, he ran 3 yards, -3 yards, whatever, he got yards. But I also want to keep something that's a little different from a lot of games I've seen is play stats. When we call a sweep right, wide receiver push, or some weird named play, whatever the play is called, I want to have stats for that play. So when that play is called, this is how it's done. So that when a team wants to go, oh, this play has been performing well or performing poorly, and if it can tell, I want to have logic in there that doesn't identify the defensive play that was called, but it might identify the type of play. Like it was a zone defense, it was a run defense, it was a blitz, something general. Because my thought is, as a coach, you may not know what a play is called. What exactly is it they're doing? But you do know what they're doing because you can see it on the play. You don't know what that play is called, so you can't say, oh, against this play, I did this. No. But you can tell against different types of defenses how your play did. And maybe it does poorly. Run play does better against run play defenses for some reason. You got good blocking. But does terrible against passing because it sweeps right into the cornerbacks and they take you out. I don't know. But I'm just saying you can kind of watch and see what your stats, what a play does. And you can kind of determine if it's a good play or a bad play. What's it averaging, And you can also tell because each play will have assigned, running back 1s, 2s, receivers 1s, 2s, whatever. Who's getting the ball because you know what the norm is. And you can see if maybe that guy's just not doing well. Maybe you got a bad second receiver who keeps getting the ball and he's just dropping them all. I don't know. But you can watch those stats. So I want to have all the stats available. A lot of that being able to read them and stuff is going to be down the road. But I want to have a database capable of storing that. And I'm going to also have tracking that's going to store that information. So first things first, we should end up right here with the coach, which should take me in here, which should kick me down to the kickoff line now. Wait, what? Kickoff required. It's true. How did we end up in there? Oh, did I say or? Oh, I said and. Oh, that's worse. Yards to go is greater than 0 and not kickoff required. How did we end up in here? And not kick. That's not. What? Oh, It probably didn't register it. That happens. I forgot. I probably have to rebuild it. Sometimes the compiling here, some things you can do and it'll affect right away. Sometimes I have to come back and rebuild it. I don't think it saw my kickoff required. All right, man. Adios. Adios, ADQ99. Man, it's late for you. Get some sleep, man. Rest. Thanks. I'm actually good. I don't know how much longer I'll be at it, but I do appreciate your stopping by and saying hi. Hopefully, next time I see you, I will have this thing running at least. I think I'm inches away. I feel like I'm at the goal line. I always feel like I'm at the goal line for the next thing I'm trying to accomplish, but it's like just like in real football. Sometimes that's a lot longer distance than you think. There's been a couple of times where I've been sacked and lost yards. And then I feel like, oh, pushed it back. I'm almost there. Luckily, I have an endless number of downs. I can just keep snapping the ball. Is it getting dark again? I feel like it's getting darker in here still. Yep, I'm fading. I'm fading fast. I need to have like a lot of these streamers have like really cool like lights behind them. But you can see I have a big room behind me. It goes all the way to the back there. And I don't know where I put lights. I can turn on lights. Alexa, turn on the Hall of Justice. See, then you can see like my workout stuff back there. But it's far away and it's not necessarily, you know, cool LED lights like so many of these guys have. But I guess it does kind of sort of brighten up the screen. Ah, there we go. Kickoff fires. So now the play call should be kickoff. Yay, kickoff. And then we should have, it should say something like turnover. But I should also get a number of plays. I think we should have something in here. So that'll go on to my play count. So that should have us be at least 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and take that off. We should have a kickoff. Let's make sure that we go down into the... We should have a turnover. We do. Turnover is back to the other team. So we go 65 yard. We go kickoff. Kickoff on play. Kick ball short of the landing zone. $60 time remaining. 15 seconds. Don't have that yet. Total drive. And we're out of here. Total plays and drive, 1. All right, that's good. Now we actually have something. All right, so now we have the coach going to try the next. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, we must be on the next drive. This is the second drive. Okay, so now we have a new drive, yards to go 60, which we passed on from the previous drive. We're still in quarter 1. And now it's 1st and 10. So go F5. I'm going to let it run this time a little bit. Nope. Going to get rid of that. We should not have kickoff required. Okay, so that's false. Okay, so we're good. All right, so let's pull this up. Where are we? Our quarter is complete. We've got all of our quarter data, which, by the way, I get way too many negative. How come I get so many negative passes? Run has hit the line of scrimmage. Loss of 0 yards. Run is hit behind the line of scrimmage, -1 yards. Kicker blasted through the end zone. Opponent will take the ball on the 35. New drive. I gotta update my range or my score or yard possibilities, because I'm having a really hard time for these guys to go forward. They're not yards on play. Well, that's a punt. So he basically did 3 plays and out, punted. Now we're on to the next guy. Yards on play, 4, woohoo, 0, 5, that's 9. But still, he's got a punt because he only got 1 yard. Only had 9 yards. But because of the crappy previous one, he was able to kick a field goal for 48 yards. So what was the punt last time? So the punt here was 23-yard punt and a 26-yard return. So no wonder they were able to kick a field goal. They were closer. These guys are scoring more because the offenses are just so bad. I got to fix my stats a little bit. But let's see if I can get the output first and see what happens. So, okay, so I know my drives. How do I have 0 plays on this drive? Okay, so it's a kickoff, but that's 1. How come it's showing? Oh, 1. It does show 1, but somehow I have a dummy. Oh, how do I do that? How do I? Oh. Huh. By the way, that doesn't look the same, does it? How come my drive results are weird? They gotta be the same format. This is how my format of my drive should be. Because that's what it's coming back as. I'm adding extra information. It's more than just that. I have the wrong drive format. So we will go back up here. Check my drive format. All right, so team with possession is, so this one is just, I'll say team 1. And then this is next drive yards to go, we'll just say 65? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't think this doesn't carry over. Oh, am I doing kickoff required from my drive, but not actually passing it up in the quarter result? Yeah, kickoff only. I gotta put that in there, man. So we're gonna take this quarter remaining, just say 0. And plays is fine, but we're gonna go with empty for now. Oops. No. Wrong brackets. And drive time 0 also. And then we got to do kickoff only. Kick off only. And we'll start with false, because in general that's not going to be a thing. All right, so yeah, Now we should at least have a similar layout to what I've been getting, because that's what I'm supposed to have in there. My quarters are kicking back that information instead. I'll line up my formats. Now I still don't understand why my plays. I mean, it could be that it's coming back and it's just the wrong stuff. But we'll see what it does here. At least get them lined up before I start complaining about what's in the values. Because I could very well be feeding the values incorrectly. Now I did have them as a parameter array, which theoretically should have lined up by the names, but I don't think any of my names are right, so it's not going to work. I did not go DoorDash. I should have gone DoorDash. It was 30 minutes ago. I guess I could still go. Just hate it. I hate it. It's not fun. It just pays so poorly. All right. And this is so much more interesting. Mm-hmm. 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 Right, we've got output. Where are we going? And we're back. How much do we have here? So we got, it's not greater than 0. Dang, nabbits, snibbits, snabbits. What the heck, man? Okay, so this first drive is a problem. The first drive is a problem. It needs to have something in it, but yet I'm getting a default. I shouldn't have a blank, but I don't know how do I overwrite the first one? What if, how would I do this? Okay, let's do this. I need to do something like desperate here. Okay, so if drive results 0, 0, it doesn't work because this runs this runs the first time through, even though it's not supposed to. I was gonna say, like, if it's 0 and we're here to log something, it's gonna run. Oh yeah. All right, let's do this. Drive data. If drive data dot plays dot length is greater than 0, right? Drive data dot plays dot length is greater than 0. Now, how about equal equals 1. Nope. Nope. Greater than 0. And drive data dot plays. No, not drive data. Drive results. Drive results dot plays dot length equals 0. Then get rid of that. Then set drive results drive data. Maybe it's just, maybe I do have to do, maybe I just do this. Drive results equals drive data. Nope, that's not it. This? Okay, maybe it's that. Okay, then it's else. Because play length shouldn't, at that point we should have a plays that's higher than 0. It should be a 1. This will get rid of the 0. That's what I'm trying to dump the 0 play, the dummy drive that's created at the declaration point. That's what I'm trying to do here. Stop it. I wanted that there. Ugh. Okay. Hopefully, that's the answer to my problems. Guess we'll find out. So I should get to here one time, and I should never get there again. That's the hope. Everything is good. I'll never get there again. I get a one time per game. All right, go there and there, and now that's not. Where's my arrow? All right, log drive never fired? Where are we? Did it stop? Oh, we got an error here. Reading length. Where are we? Quarter? $66. What do you mean reading length? Oh, that's the error that's been returned by that, I guess. Where's length being used here? I don't even think I use length on this file. It must have been triggered by the game result function. Because that's the only place that this exists. Drive data, drive results, length is greater than 0, length equals 0. Why doesn't it like it? Drive data comes back with plays, right? Yep, capital P plays. And drive results has a plays, capital P plays. All right, I guess we're gonna have to oh, I got an EPR. Oh, my rebuild didn't fire correctly. I didn't even see that. Ennuent open. You got it when you. I've noticed that when you're building your React project in Visual Studio, at least for me, I haven't figured out the way to avoid that. You have to close the console window because you get like weird. You get weird errors. Oh, now I got what? Log drive. React hook use effect has a missing log drive. Why? What React hook? You include or remove the dependency array. What? It's not a use effect. React hook use effect. Oh, it does. But where am I? Where am I using log drive? What's it talking about? Okay, it is game result. But the only place I use, I don't even call log drive anywhere except for in. Oh, these guys have it, but they're not really? I've had that there forever. Since when does it become a problem? Now it's an issue? That's weird. Either include it or remove the dependency array. What is a dependency array? Not sure what that means, but I guess I have to say log drive here. I don't know why this matters, because I mean, yeah, I'm confused. I don't know. It's just whatever. It's complaining now. Wasn't complaining before, but apparently it is now. Let's see how this plays out. Coming. So I've had these log drive calls or references forever. Oh, look, it's still complaining. What the heck? The log drive function makes the dependencies of useEffect hook change on every render. Move it inside the useEffect callback. Alternatively, wrap the definition of log drive in its own use callback hook. Okay, something, I'm not even sure what happened here. Because all I did was add this little if statement. Now it's complaining about everything that log drive is doing. I don't understand why this little condition here caused so much consternation in my code. It's makes the dependencies of useEffect, line 91, yes, change on every render. Move it inside the useEffect callback. See, I don't even know what a, see, this is my lack of knowledge in what is a useEffect callback? In effect, this is the callback function. Console.log. Optional cleanup function. Return blah. Console.log effect cleanup. Key aspects of use effect callback. What it does. Executes after the component renders or when specific dependencies change. Can return a cleanup function that runs before the effect re-executes when the component unmounts. So it's just the use effect. So a use effect callback is just a use effect. I mean, it's just another way to reference it, I guess. Is the function you pass as the first argument to the use effect hook. It contains the logic that you want to execute when a specific event occurs, such as when the component renders, when certain dependencies change, or when the components are rendered. So basically, it's all this stuff between these parentheses here. That's the callback. It's basically what the use effect is, I gather. And that's actually all the way to here. Sorry. Look, takes it all the way down. The whole use effect callback is this thing. Okay, so let's go back to the way it was working before. And I'm gonna take this out just for a moment. See if I can get it to stop crying about something here. How do I set this up so the first drive results, the dummy version, is replaced by the first drive data with the rest drive data calls, drive data results pending. Alright, if previous 0, replace the first dummy value with the actual drive data, return drive data. Okay, so it is different. Let's see if that works. So I have to call it all with inside this to see if it actually puts all of the code in the one set drive data call. So hopefully that works. And then we have the same previous thing. All right, well, let's see if that gets around the problem. I really want to see this thing output, man, but it's getting late again. So worn out, man. I ran around 11 miles today because I'm trying to get myself up for my annual Turkey Day run. My annual Turkey Day run, as in I just run the neighborhood. I run 13.1 miles. I try to run a half marathon every Thanksgiving. Been doing it for about 6-7 years. I think I may have missed one in there somewhere, but I've been doing it since like 2015, so it's like 9 years now. My last one was faster than all the ones before. I look it up on my Garmin. But so I went and ran today because I'm trying to get my miles up, but get back up into that 13-mile range. So I got up to 11 today, which is probably my longest run I'll do before I actually run next week. Hopefully the weather will be nice. I'll probably do an 8, maybe Sunday, but that'll probably be it because I'll have to recover a little bit, get myself ready, and then hopefully I can do my half. I don't know if it'll be as good a time though, because I've been really slacking on my running lately. I've been doing a lot more other stuff, which has resulted in a little bit less running ability. So I've gotten a little bit. It's not really cardio. I mean, I do a lot of other exercise, so my cardio is good. I actually felt good at the end, but my legs and stuff are just like, okay, dude, you need to be out here more if you want me to run this far. They're like, this is a bit much for, 10 runs a month at tops. Okay, so it didn't complain. It seemed to be okay with my changes. We still have a plays that length of 0. How come that first? Okay, now it's lined up right. At least it looks better, but it's still 0. How do I have a 0 there? Because it shouldn't, my first drive should keep coming back with something. There's one play in the drive. I know that. I knew it because I've seen it. I saw it put the play in there. There's one play. All right, so we're going to stop it. And then we're going to run it again. This time I'm actually going to go watch for that first drive to come through the console. I could probably stop braking in some points just to reduce my brake points. I want that one for now. And then let's see what happens. Now we know this one's 0. That's supposed to be. We're okay with that. And this is game result getting. All right, so we're going to set my quarter, which I should only. I don't know why, but it always hits it twice. Look, I set quarter and then I go like this. Okay. Why does it do that? Now we're going to go in here. It's still an high. So all that stuff is just set up. I don't know why it has to run through there twice. Now it actually runs. Now we should have a drive result with plays. Plays.length is 1, right? Yeah, see 1. So we're okay there. And then we go back and we return. Again, it hits it twice. I don't know why it does that. And then we're back here. Drive result.plays is 1. We have 1 full play in there. Happy McCamps a lot. Okay. And then we go here, which should take us into this. Stop taking me into this stupid DOM. I don't want to see that stuff. Huh. It's not. Okay, so I guess what I have to do. Apparently, I can't break inside of my. Darn it. I can't break inside, so if I want to read it, I have to see what it's actually bringing with it. Stupid. At least I can see whether or not it's being pulled over correctly. All right, we're here. What is my driver data? It's still got to play. Yep, We're correctly set up with a play. Length 1, okay. But so previous, what is the length of previous result? Doesn't say. Huh. Actually, is previous result length 0 or is it 1? That might actually be the problem. Because if I set a dummy value in there, it's not setting right. I can't capture. Apparently, I can't capture this. It's not going to let me. Yeah, that's a whole nother drive. So my first drive is not allowing me to capture it for whatever dumb reason. Son of a French fry. Okay. How can I trace this then? So it's doing this. It is not replacing the first one because when I come back to it later, it says it's still there. I really want to do this drive result, but I'm starting to think I can't because I may have to set it up as blank because it seems oh man, it's kind of like I need the plays to be there at 0, but I can't make it, I can't force it to be there at 0. It's like, stop it, just do what I want you stupid thing. What the heck? Team next drive, team next drive, drive time, plays, and quarter time remaining. Team, next drive, drive time, plays, quarter time remaining, and kickoff only, but I put that on the end. And that is there. Wait, yeah, kickoff only. Wait, nope. Team, drive time, next drive, drive result, drive time, plays, quarter time remaining. Is that the problem? Because I have an extra thing? I have this kickoff only? Maybe that's because... I mean, I don't even know if I use that. Do I use kickoff only? I probably do, because it has to come back for the next quarter. Okay, so... I thought I put that in there, but apparently I didn't. Drive result dot kickoff only. Not that I think that's going to fix anything, but guess we'll find out. I really hate that we keep going into the DOM. I try to set the setting that says only go in my code. Because this is not my code. This is not even, this is, I don't know, whatever that is. That's the DOM stuff. I wish I would stop doing that. Because it just makes it a pain in the rear to debug. Because if I step into the wrong thing, I end up there, and then I have to figure out how to get out of there. Alright, so now we're back here. Alright, so drive data. Drive data has one play. That's perfect. It's exactly what I expect it to do. Problem is, I also need to have, when I'm done here, drive results needs to have one play as well, but I can't actually get out of here because, right, here we are. So now we ran. So we should have drive data. Wait, return drive data? Oh yeah, return drive data. So what we should have now is some value inside of my drive results. Still says 0 here. It did not set. And did it even put my other one in there? It didn't set at all. It didn't even set the other option. Drive data has value. Team. I don't know why it's in that order. That's a weird order. Drive time, kickoff only, plays, quarter time remaining, and team. Why is it coming back in that weird order? Because that's not the order I am sending it back in. I mean, kickoff only is like the last thing on here. I don't have another setup. That's really weird. Blah. We know it has a play in it. I got that back. All right, let's do this. Let's do this guy. I don't know why it's just why I can't do that, why it refuses to work. But I don't know how else to fix it. So the only option I can think of is to go back being generic. Not have a dummy value in there. I thought when you I don't know. I just thought when you did this, it would replace it automatically because what? But when you use previous data, it's going to take what you have. So we're going to go shift home delete. And then what we're going to do here, it's empty. So theoretically, I shouldn't even have to check for this. I mean, my drives should have a play in them. If they don't, that's another problem, but I shouldn't be empty. I should be empty here only at the beginning. So let's try this, and we'll see if that can get around the problem. If things are working, this should be an empty array. And if it's not coming back this correctly, I can always check for length and say it has to be greater than 0. It's almost like it is defined, but it's empty, so it won't come back. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. All right, so we don't have any errors, so we can run. That's a start. All right. I do notice, though, there's a lot of redundant calling. So we have an array. Does this go in? It does. Okay, so I have to check for length of greater than 0. Drive results dot length equals 0. Not it's greater than. I don't have to do it now. Let's just say if it's 0, we return because we don't want any drives. We don't have it if we don't have any drives. No drive results. No want to play. And I get, I some of these times I don't need to be rebuilding. Oh, oops. But sometimes I do. So typically if I change code, I just rebuild if I think about it. Other times I'll like, okay, let's see if it'll work. And sometimes it does, and I'm able to continue on. It's just, I don't know what the triggers are to make it compile correctly while in process. Some things do, some things don't. Now I know sometimes it's a signature, like if you change the parameters of a function or method or whatever, that can sometimes force you to rebuild. But React is different. I don't know what the triggers are. Alrighty, let's see what we got. So this should be 0, which should mean I'd skip out of here. Yep. And then I'm stuck in the stupid DOM again, so I can close that. Just hit F5. And we go here. And we should still be 0. Yep. Okay. And we go here. I don't know why. See, all this stuff you go through before anything even functions. But then, voila, suddenly start functioning. It's just the way of it. So now we go out here. And oh, I didn't even change this, so that's not going to work. I dumped the array, so all I need to do is, darn it, ugh, I forgot to change this. So all I need is this. I don't know, why is that red? Oh, I still have a breakpoint on there. Oh. Weird. Okay. Well, hopefully. I don't see any squigglies, so we should be okay. Let's see if that's going to let me run. I don't think it will, but maybe. Still 0. Okay. We got our drives, a bunch of them back. Ah, something blew up. Okay. Previous results is not iterable. Iterable? What do you mean it's not iterable? Did I type it wrong? Probably. That's a pretty safe bet, knowing me, but error saying previous results not iterable. Try to do this function you're passing charges and it doesn't return a value. If you want to use curly braces for your more complex logic, you need to explicitly use the return statement. Oh, that's because I have the curly braces still in there. Because you can put more complicated stuff on the line, but I don't need it now because I simplified, not complicate, not complified. Complicated? Complified? That's a new one. Well, come on, man! I gotta admit that's a good one. That's a good new word. Complified. To impose complications. Oops, what am I doing? Oh, I know. Control S. Rebuild. We shall rebuild. Still same. Oh, whoa, we have a 10 now. Is that because I didn't put any brakes up there? Okay, I didn't put any brakes. Oh, and I took the brake off of that. Okay. So now we have 10. So hopefully the first one has some plays in it. So we got one. It has one play. That's all I'm hoping for. Okay. So theoretically, now it should start putting stuff out. So we got drive results, constant drive. We got plays in drive. One play in drive. So here's a thing. I think because I have a delay going on, it doesn't like me stepping through the code because that delay ends up being too long. And it complains about error code status breakpoint. So it's not liking what I'm doing so far. So what I almost need to do is just let this run once and see what happens. Now that I know it's going in and it's got data in the plays, let's see what happens. Okay, stuff is happening, but it's not doing what I thought. So a lot of stuff happening, but nothing's happening up here. It put one play up. One play. That's all it did. It was supposed to show all the plays. Why is it not? I didn't even break on any of these, so it's doing something. And it's not... I don't know what it's doing. And it's not even getting over to this. Oh, is this stuck in this loop? But it's not even Huh. So the first thing it did was run this. And then we set game state, which should have created that while that first output worked. I should get a small little football and then mark who's got the ball as things are happening. I'm going to do that too. But it's only Tuesday. Why are we... Alright, so we didn't even get to... But these aren't loops. I mean, they're 4 constants, but that should just go until... constant drive results, and then we hit the drive, we have the play. Are we getting kickoff? Are we getting a new quarter? It's actually running new drives. Why is it running new drives? We're still in quarter one. Quarter one. So how come we had 10 drives? 10 drives is a lot, by the way, for a quarter. I feel like it was just going around and around and around and around. But why was it executing these calls again? Because the only things we should be seeing at this point are drive results in progress, and so if it was looping, I should have been just seeing drive results in progress, quarter time remaining. That's it. So each one of these should be changing that state, and nothing, they aren't. What's the error? And how come oh, so it's running. It's not. Wait, how many drives do I have? 38 drives. It's okay. It's not doing something it's supposed to. Something's falling down. What is my logic going on here? 38 drives. That's a lot of drives. It's not doing something right. Because it's almost like it's going in here and then it just zips around and does it again. And we never even get to my breaks down here that are the exit of exit. Like this one can't, like I can't run the next quarter until I do this. And set drive result is supposed to be hitting back to 0. Set drive resets to empty. That should kill all the drives in there. Should be nothing left. But alas, that's not the case. And we go in here and we exit our drive, so it's constant drive results of. In fact, even our plays, we have. How come our loops aren't working? Oh, I do have a break here. What's going on with my break? No other plays are valid if we hit the end of half a regulation. Quarter equals 1, or quarter equals 3. We set our time. Quarter time remaining has to be less than or equal to 0. Are we ever getting in here? Is that what's tripping us up? Are we entering into a dead record? And is break exiting my 4? Or is it just exiting the method altogether and we're getting all the way out and we're not doing anything? Huh. Alright, let's see where we're at. Because I don't understand why we're not iterating through all the plays. We iterate, we hit one play and we exit. So that's definitely broken. Okay, so we got our quarter. Now, the question is, where are we? All right, that's one play. And then we fail. What's going on here? What is this? What is this error I'm seeing? And the thing is, if I let it run, it won't let me see this. Do I have... And then it just goes and comes back. New drive. New drive. Yards to go, quarter one still. Like, we're iterating and recalling the same quarter. Yards to go, quarter one still. New drive, yards to go 7, quarter one. Let's go 60. We have a lot of stuff going on, and we're not getting out of this quarter. And everything we do just keeps running. Quarter one. We should not have this many drives happening in the quarter. I don't know why it keeps calling. Why? And the thing is, it's like, how is it doing that? Because I have a break on my quarter. So I thought I did. Maybe I don't. Must have deleted it. But when I get to the quarter, I should go in here, and then it runs, and it runs one play, and then it just goes wonky. Nothing else finishes. Now I have an error. I don't know what this is because I can't see it. All right, I should probably put a try catch in. Do I have a try catch on this? I probably don't. All right, so let's put a try catch in. Let's see if I can get this to dump an error for me. Because there's something kicking me out of here, and I don't know what it is. So we'll go here. Try. And that's everything, pretty much everything in here. And we'll just copy this guy. Guess I can stick with the same logic here. And then let's put some space in here. Console.log. Just so I can see my errors amidst all the chaff that I'm creating with all of my other logs. I eventually need to start dumping all those logs, but log lines, but I don't need them at this second. It's E. Whoops, what did I do? I clicked the wrong thing. Hopefully this will at least trap the errors. I don't even know where I am. Did I don't? So now we're here. Summary time remaining, drive count, exceed viable number. That's not good. Number of drives in quarter 11. Quarter time remaining 15. Drive result in progress 1. Play and drive. That's 1 play and drive. We're just getting this. Now we're just like, how come we did that like twice? Okay, it did the same thing for the same play 2 times. So am I like not iterating? Constant drive result of drive results. Look, because it's doing each drive. It's not doing both drives. There was like 10 drives in here. And 20 drives. That's way too many drives. But I got 20 of these drives in here. But it's only doing 1. What am I doing wrong with my for loops? And we're not getting out of here. And I'm not hitting anything else. I don't know. Is it because this thing's breaking? 0. 0. 15. So we go F10. We have quarter time remaining is some big amount, 900. Then we go in here and nothing else happens. And we hit an error. Just error. Don't know what it is, what the problem is, because nothing seems to show it. How did we even error there? Just like, didn't output an error, didn't do nothing. I don't know. Let's recompile, see if my try catch isn't firing. I gotta see what the heck that error is, and I have no way to see it while it's running. And then if it runs in a loop, I can't stop it to get it to stop. Ah, come on. Oh no, go away. It's getting dark again. Darker. The light fades, and so goes my face. My face is fading. I'm turning into a vampire. At nighttime, my lights work okay. They balance out the light, but the daytime they don't do so well. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see if my try catches function now. To catch whatever the heck is going on, because something weird's happening there. I don't know what. I can't pin it down. I guess I could try to open this up as with a console open, see if it'll show me something. I don't know if it'll show it to me or not. I mean, this shows me pretty much everything that's coming up down here, so. Invalid or unexpected tokens. What does that mean? Okay, it's gone now. All right, so okay, so this is where I half expect to see some kind of an error. return. See, it just kicked out. Now we're way out of here. Now it's like we didn't even... We have a bunch of drives. We have 17 drives, which is way too many. But how did we end up... How come we didn't read through all the drives the first time? Reads one drive and gets out. All right. Okay, this code is supposed to iterate through each play of each drive, but for some reason keeps exiting after the first drive result, never moving to the next. Oh. This return causes the outer loop to terminate prematurely because it is inside the for constant. It is? Oh. To ensure all plays, all drives are iterated properly, you need to structure this without prematurely exiting the loop. Here's a correction. So I need to put that somewhere else. So I can clear interval, but I don't need to return. Huh. Oh, wait, what? He turned it into a function. He did. Turned it into a function inside of the use effect that gets called. Console.log, quarter time remaining. Process plays. Let's see what this does. I'll see what his version does. I can always do a bulk uncopy, a bulk undo. This is I probably shouldn't do it because it probably doesn't have my logic right for my other stuff. If that's all it changed, it's fine. But I have a feeling it's probably got my logic wrong because it's frequently rewrite stuff and does that bad. I probably shouldn't do that. I always end up having to rewrite the code or go back and then try to implement what it did in pieces. So wait, new promise, resolve. It's doing the same thing. Set game state. Current. We have our little break here. So the return on the interval was the key problem. They did linearize all this stuff. I don't know if that's necessary, you know, to drop it down into compressed lines. I think that's just because it wrapped for the sake of wrapping. But I guess we'll see. Do we have any issues? Nope, everything built. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if it didn't break my code. Sometimes it doesn't. You give it a small enough piece and it usually won't. But sometimes if you have some complexity stuff in there, it thinks it can rewrite it better and then it breaks the purpose of what it's doing, which is always annoying. and off for a short gain of 5. But see, nothing happened. It did one play. One play is all it did. Why is it only iterating one play? It's not even putting a delay between the plays. It just not working. Jiminy criminy. Well, darn it. Okay. We just have to see. All right, so let's just do the purpose of what the update was. I'm going to undo this. I don't know why it's doing a four drive results, does this, and then it goes through. Well, let's make sure it didn't iterate. I should see a whole bunch of lines in here that are basically drive result, log remaining. That's all. I should have a bunch of quarter time remaining error messages. And I see not such a thing. Still too many plays. Too many drives. Maybe because they're crappy drives. Too many negatives. Golly. How to really fix that? I mean, I get it that we have negatives, but come on. The number I'm getting? That's crazy talk. All right, let's go Control Z. I don't know, I'm having trouble reading the spot I'm trying to see. So I'm going to have to call out the values I want to see with another comment. Let's put these squigglies somewhere else. Let's put them right before the comments that do exist in here, just so I can know when these things start to appear. I got too many comments that I have to start marking my comments. And it's hard to stop because I go through here so many times, so I keep breaking. I won't see where I'm iterating through. And it's obviously, I mean, it's that first drive is broken. I mean, obviously I'm not hitting any of those. So let's go here and see what he did. He did what they adjusted. And key changes. Async await. Process plays in an asynchronous fashion that ensures each play completes before moving to the next. That's not really what async does. Doesn't async purposely not allow things to run asynchronously? I mean, that's the whole point. They run together. Synchronously is supposed to be one play at a time. Right? One, sync. The next one, next one, next one. Async means they're all running together. That's not the definition of async. It's an asynchronous function. Yeah, well, that ensures each play completes before moving to the next. The delay between plays is implemented using new promise and set interval. Isn't that already what I'm doing? Oh, I guess I'm not using promise. Avoid previous return. The clear interval is now inside the interval callback, ensuring it only clears after the interval is executed. Wouldn't it be easier to just not put it right inside there? Why don't I just call the clear interval like this thing does? Because all he does is call it. That's all he's doing. He runs it and then calls the clear interval. There's no return. And is he putting it? Yeah, he's putting it right inside. And then we get rid of this. That's basically the problem it's saying is the problem, right? Stop returning early. Interval once. Proceed to the next play after delay. So we can go, we'll do the same thing. We'll just call it and say resolve. Oops, not resolve. I don't even know what that is. Resolve. So we'll do the exact same thing. We'll resolve the interval, proceed to the next interval after the delay. That's all I'm at. Something simple. We are doing set interval. Okay, so let's just see what that does. I don't know what it was rewriting because it always thinks it knows more than you. Maybe it does because, you know, I'm, you know, new, but sometimes I think it just overcompensates. I'm a computer. I'm smart. I should be able to beat you at everything. Why are we still at Q1 though? We aren't implementing. Oh, so we are getting all these. Look. Oh, this is actually good. I mean, it's good, but it's not right. But you can see all the plays getting iterated. 15 minutes. Drive results in progress. 1 play in drive. Lot, 15 minutes, 0. Quarter time remaining. Now, I don't know if it's right or not because it's not actually showing anything. But it is updating each drive. We got 9 plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got 12 plays. Okay, so now we are seeing the output. Now, granted, we are not getting, these things aren't changing like they're supposed to. And number of drives, we only had 7 drives. It's not as bad. So it should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might have been 7 because it was a single play drive that I missed. But trigger next quarter, processing quarter. There's probably a 2. Well, it should be. But that said, I don't know. Something's forcing that to stay as a I. Probably because whatever this thing is not working either. It's supposed to be waiting for everything to run, and then it iterates around and comes back. But I have not seen this thing actually stop. It is true now, but it's not stopping the code. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But what we do need to do is figure out why this stuff isn't updating now. So if all these things are updating, I should have some output. All right. We have everything laid out. We have team 1 the scores. Game state scores aren't changing. Team 2 total score. How come things aren't updating? set quarter complete, but I mean, maybe it did go, it triggered here, but I have a break here. It should actually be going constant interval, check every 100 seconds if constant. Huh. I have a feeling it's leaving my for loop here. Triggering next quarter should be, but it's I still. How are we getting, how come we're the I equal 1, I equals less than or equal to 4. That's the limit of the drive, but it's not triggering next quarter. Should say 2 here, not 1. Hey. All right, so we know that it's iterating through all the plays correctly, but my output is not updating. So that's all those things I'm changing. The game state, total score, team with possession, all that stuff. It's not changing. Why? Well, time to go back to my buddy. Okay. The outputs are rendering. The updated value is expected. Alrighty, let's go see what he has for me. Issue likely arises because React's asynchronous nature and the way state updates propagate, blah blah blah. State updates and set game state. State updates in React as asynchronous. Your set game state inside the play interval is not updating game state immediately, so subsequent updates are not based on the latest state. Updating current play and game state in parallel. The way set current play and game state are updated together might be causing issues in rendering since they depend on each other indirectly. The timing of updates could lead to inconsistent UI rendering. Okay. What do you mean? Current play. Where am I using current play? Oh. Right there. What is... Do I use current play anymore? That was a thing I was using before, but... Oh, current play. Oh yeah, current play. Alright, so I am using that. Do I update it in there though? Probably should be, but where is current play being? Blah 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 blah. Oh, set current play, set game state. Well, what's wrong with that? Clearing intervals too soon. The clear interval play interval inside the play interval itself might prematurely stop the iteration logic for subsequent plays. Dependency issues in use effect. The use effect for processing drive results has dependencies like drive results, current play, and game state. Changing these can trigger re-renders and potentially lead to unexpected behavior. Fixes and improvements. So I always look at that and go, oh no, here we go again. He's going to try to rewrite my code. I mean, rewrite it like sometimes by breaking stuff. Because trust me, ChatGPT is good at breaking stuff. If you let it. Gotta really watch what it's doing. Add conditional rendering to ensure updates propagate correctly. Align center, game state quarter minutes. I don't know what kind of quarter, what it means. I mean, really, what do I need to conditionally render? Handle asynchronous state updates. To ensure updates do not overwrite each other. Structure set game state updates in a way that depends explicitly on the previous state. It's been trying to rewrite this like every time. I have to look at how it logically does it to see if it makes any sense. I mean, they are previous, but why does it say max? Because all it says is max, 0 or play. See, it doesn't know what I'm doing. I know it doesn't. If point score is greater than or equal to 0, it's point scored. So that is the max. Okay, so the max of one of those. But if point scored is less than 0, then we want the absolute play. If it's less than 0, we want the absolute value of the value, or 0. So see, it's not taking into account the possibility of negative on its calculation. It just says max. So I would get 0 if it's negative. So it's rewriting it, but it's rewriting it wrong. It didn't put the abs in there, which is an absolute value of points scored, which should put it positive. But what I'm thinking is, if it's team 1, if team with possession is team 1, and the point scored is greater than 0, then we want greater than or equal to 0. And we want that. Or if it's not team 1, if there's a score of... Oh, okay. See, the conditions for me, I can see doing absolute values, yes. Or I can see doing a max, because that might make sense for it, but I have to... If the team with possession... So basically, we're only supposed to take the score if it's... Okay, that's right. Okay, so if it's positive and it matches the team with possession, it goes on the team with possession. Okay, so that's, but only if it's greater than or equal to 0. Else, it only gets it if it's a negative score, which we will turn to positive to add on. It's just the way it's being processed, because like a safety or a score on a fumble or interception return shows up as a negative on the drive, and that drive goes to the other team. So that team is supposed to get, if it's negative, based on whether it's team with possession, or positive if it's the team or negative if it's the team without possession, and all positive scores if it's a team with possession. That doesn't, this thing he's got here is totally not what it wrote. It's just totally wrong, because it says if team 1, then it's the previous team score, which I'm doing both cases anyway, adding the previous team score, plus the max of points and points scored. But it doesn't understand the condition that actually results in them getting a score. They may not get a score all the time. And I can see maybe there's a better way to write this, but it's not the way it's doing it, because it's not right. So this is what I'm saying. Be careful about watching ChatGPT or taking ChatGPT's code and just going, oh, let's just plug that in. because it will break and restructure your code. And this is totally wrong in how it's written. It doesn't fully analyze what's going on. It thinks I'm just going, oh, he just wants the max of those two values. I'll just give him the max. I'll just say it's max. It's not true. If the score is positive, I want the max of the score in 0. Actually, not even. I just want the score if it's above 0. But if it's not above 0, I just want 0. But come to think of it, no, because a negative would have to be the abs. And like if they are not the team with possession, then they wouldn't get positive scores. They would only get the negative scores. That's basically what this is saying. Team with possession gets positive scores. Team without possession gets the negative scores. And that's what's supposed to be happening here. And I feel like I'm looking at this going, yeah, there's probably a better way. I can't figure out what it is. I mean, and it is strictly dependent. I don't know why it says it's not strictly dependent. I am adding it to the previous total score. It's trying to say, and it's like it's trying to add it in there twice. Team with total score plus and then just this, but it's totally wrong. And that's not my problem. That's not the problem. The problem is it's not rendering at all. It's not even setting the values. So I am doing the previous. I am setting these. Team with possession is new team with possession, which is, oh, all right, what do I got going? All right, so if it's, see, and it doesn't, wait, what is new team? Is that like a new thing? Did he create his own thing? He did. He created a new variable. New team with possession. Constant. Team with possession equals... was there a turnover? And he's doing these within the game state, which also makes things fun. and then he's doing a return on it. So and this is hard to read. Okay, so if it's not a turnover, then it's team with possession. Else, if it is a turnover, then it's team 1. Yeah, that's really weird to read. If it's not a turnover, it's team with possession, right? Or, oh, if team with possession equals team 1, then it's team 2, else team 1. Okay, so yeah, it's doing the same way. It just does this constant instead. And then instead of putting this in line, I mean, I guess I can do that. Does it better? Maybe. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to read when you break up a inline if statement into multiple lines. Because the whole point of an inline if statement is it's inline. That's why it's called an inline if statement. I don't know if that's what they call them on here. But that's what they're meant to be. And then we got that, and then down here we've got so we got one for the return. And then one. For that. And what? That one's got a semicolon here. Previous return. Do I have too many squig? Too many things? One, two. Doesn't like something about my my return here. Oh. Oh, nope. That's exactly the same way it wrote it. Doesn't like my constant new team with possession either. This is like totally not compiling. It doesn't like anything about this. I don't see any parentheses or wrappers on this constant. Or else I don't know what it's not liking here. Expected comma? That's not better. Return gets a semicolon after it. This guy gets a comma after it. Syntactically not correct. I'm getting a lot of errors in this code. Whatever this computer think it's doing, but it totally rewrote these wrong, so I can't use those. And it did something with updated quarter time, but didn't bother to show that. It just has updated quarter time, and it doesn't put that in here. Just like, yeah, you know, I'll just tell you to do it, and you can, you know, I'll just put that in here, and you can add some code for it. It thinks I should rewrite this to use an async function. I still think that's flawed because it's not using intervals at all. Oh, it does use an interval. It just says await new promise, resolve. Oh, the await is because it's inside of the async, and the async is what it's awaiting. Oh, okay. So it's going to await. I can try it. What the heck? But I'm not going to just take its other code. This thing is all broken up. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know why that's functionally not functioning, but I'm getting rid of it because it's driving me nuts. Don't want to go too far. What did I do? All right. Oh, yeah. And this was resolved. But let's go ahead and kind of see what the gist of what it's trying to accomplish is. I will rewrite it as it says, like an async function. See if that actually gives me a little bit more hope here. It took out my try catch because what? It doesn't know how to use air handlers? I don't know. I don't know what its problem is with the try catch, but we're going to put that inside of the function const process plays equals async, and I'll put a squiggly there, and then we'll go. Maybe try catch isn't an excellent thing all the time, so I get it. Sometimes it might. It's okay. It only put one thing in there. One drive results. Okay, so we're gonna take care. We're gonna put in the process plays. It got rid of my. I'm still doing a set current play and set game state. I mean, I'm just checking that he's not breaking anything in mine. Set drive results I complete, but apparently it's not complaining now about game state and drive results. All right, I'll take them out because I like the idea of minimizing this. I'll just say that. I'll see what that does. Okay. Then we got to go back up here and make sure we got our entirety of our code in here. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. For constant drive results, does its thing, comment. Then we got our drive plays, which we got doing our thing. And then we got quarter time remaining. And then we do our little test. If play crosses over into the next quarter, we got our little loop. But see, it didn't. Quarter time remaining. Let update quarter time. See, updated quarter time. What does it think I'm doing? That's not what I'm doing. Why does it think I'm doing that? Oh, okay. No, this is the quarter time remaining. Okay, so that one's still there, and it still has the else. It still breaks. Stop processing plays, console log, end of quarter of game. Huh. That's funny. Okay, so I laughed because it kind of just put in no other plays are valid if we hit the end half or regulation. And it puts console.log, end of quarter or game. It's not true. It's supposed to be end of half or game. But it took a good shot at it. It does say end of half. I don't know where I got quarter from, but probably because I said it's quarter time remaining, I guess. And current quarter is 1 or 3. And then it's got updated quarter time 15. Oh, okay. So that's why it just sets it to the right value, which I suppose it could. But the thing is, I am reformatting quarter time remaining, so yeah, I suppose this is better. I'll give it that. Because I'm only using that value. I don't know why. Don't I add my other time into it? Oh, I do, but does this? Oh, it does. It turns it into minutes and seconds. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that because that'll take it out of line there. And it's essentially doing what I did up here. So quarter time, let. Oh, did he make another constant? Wait. Why does it say update quarter time? Oh, he changed it to updated quarter time. Instead of quarter time remaining. Wait, constant quarter time 60. Oh, and then quarter time remaining. This is what we're getting it from the game state minus the play time. And then they update it, call it let updated quarter time. I guess. I don't know. Is this better? Sometimes I wonder if it's better. It's more code, more stuff going on. So I'm not always sure if that's the best strategy. But I don't know. And then this is supposed to be updated quarter time down here. And then we just put this in here. Oops. Something about it not liking my doing it this way because it keeps trying to override it and change how it's written. But I think that's pretty much the gist of what it's trying to accomplish. Yeah, we got set to, so except it's not using intervals anymore. Log state values to verify the order and correctness of updates. More use effects. This thing goes use effect nest. But use effect is like definitely abused. If that's really how everything has to run, well, that's, you can have like use effects everywhere trying to accomplish different things. I feel like it's an awful lot of use effectingness. I guess I'll put these in. These are just for logging purposes, but maybe they will help me to see what's going on in the world, man. We'll just plop them right here. I don't know, they're just log lines. Set game state. No. So where's the delay at again? Oh, here's the promise. Await promise. That's before we do either of those things. And they're sticking it in right before set current play. Oh, it's not even using a play interval. That can go away. Okay. And that's it. It just does the await promise. And then it goes ahead and says set the play, set the game state, exits out, calls the drive results, and the quarter complete. And it looks like neither of my for loops need these things. It's like knowing when. That's another thing that's weird. It's like knowing when to use semicolons, when not. Sometimes it doesn't complain about extra semicolons, but some things need them, some things don't. It will complain about missing ones, but it won't complain about extra ones, which I guess is good. But it's kind of like, all right, so I think I have it all in there now. So it's kind of a hybrid of what ChatGPT said to do and what I want done. And so we're going to be down here, process plays. We're going to set drive result. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not totally sure about the correctness of taking game state and current play out. But let's see what happens. I didn't really think my game result output was such a problem child. I started fiddling with it last once I had all the other parts in place, but now it's like, just getting it to lie out on the screen has been a fair amount of complicated, I'll tell you. The timings of when things load and return and how you're gonna kick them out there. Oh, look, it's complaining. Either include it or remove. React hook use effect has a missing dependency, game state quarter time. See, it doesn't like that. Yeah, I have to put game state back. He'll probably complain about the next one too, but it does not like that at all. Hopefully. Let's see if it complains about current play. Do I have current play updating? This didn't change current play, did it? Oh, I do. I set current play result. Oh, okay. I have a feeling it might complain about that too, but we'll see. It's when it's doing its linting usually that it finds those problems. It did not say anything. Build traces. But it might not show it till after. Oh, all right, we're good. So its game state was the only one it had a problem with. Oh, that is still called play result, right? Yeah. What time is it? Almost 5 o'clock, man. It's a full day's work. I've been cranking on this. Okay, no, not full day. I ran a marathon or half marathon this morning. Well, almost. Okay, maybe not. I ran a long ways this morning, 11 point something miles, and then I, had to recover for a bit. So yeah, there's that. This is another one that was throwing me off because it kept. I don't know how it got in here, and then it didn't ever reset to the next quarter, which was weird. See, it's doing this twice. The first time it actually executes, or it doesn't actually execute. Where is... See, nothing happened. But we ran a bunch of stuff, but only one thing updated. Okay, I'm going to take a break till later. I think I'm going to have to call a break. I just need to, step away for a while.